Okay, welcome everybody. This is public meeting number 42 of Kwaai. Happy Kwaai Day, May 17, 2024. Gosh, we got a full agenda. We've got a speaker. I'm hoping he's going to join. That'll be wonderful if he does. And just to ping him, I will drop a message in his. Great. I'm going to start, and we'll juggle the schedule if Sujit is late. But in the interest of time, let's get started. Thank you all for joining. A good bumper crop of members. Let me tell you, our membership rate is increasing. I think by the end of this month, we'll probably break 400 members. We're at about 370. Last night, I was at a fantastic event, AITP. A professional organization hosted an event. It was actually hosted by Accenture. So AITP invited me as a speaker, and there was another speaker, John Morrow, sorry. And it was downtown LA. And the talk was about AI. And gosh, they had us there till about 9 o'clock at night. The moderators had to stop the questions. It went on a lot, quite a while. AI is a hot topic, and look, we are gathered here as a group of critical thinkers. We're not simply cheerleaders for the status quo. This is a rich vein of intellect and people that have got some sort of angst, not a vague angst. We've got an angst and we think we know what we can do about it, about how to build an organization that is a credible alternative to the monopolizing forces. So thank you so much for participating. And we're going to give you updates today. I think what we'll do is we'll go to the work group updates, and then we will proceed and wait for our lightning talker, Sujit Nair, to join and juggle the order of events. Okay, so Debbie, back to you, and let's get on with the agenda.
All right, everybody, welcome. Well, Riza, you're next, so I'm gonna throw it back to you.
You're gonna throw it back to me. Okay, so what I want to talk today about is our beta program. Great. So I'm gonna share, and if you've not seen it already, so I'm gonna share, and I'm gonna share the beta program. It's the second tab on the website. There we go. And I'm up. Right. And the second tab on the website is the beta tab. And it says we're going to be running an AI beta program in Q3. And that's what the engineers are working on at the moment. All the furious coding of our volunteer engineers are to get the proof of concept that we showed at the end of Q1 up to a beta level. And what you're seeing here on the page is the proof of concept, but the beta functionality will be enhanced, and the beta is going to run in academia. It'll be a closed beta, so we're running in schools, no, in colleges and universities. Probably not make it to high schools, although I did have some inbound queries about getting it to run in high schools. We might extend it into high schools, I'm not sure. So if you scroll down here, the beta objectives for the host would be to bring cutting edge personal AI to your campus, and to test personal AI in an academic setting. There are two use cases. There's one is the virtual teacher's assistant. So here we have the Pi owner, the personal AI owner is a professor or some member of staff. The Pi users that they grant access to would be students. So this is a student-facing use case, the virtual teacher's assistant. Ask the Professor is a similar thing, and it need not be course curriculum material. It could be their body of writing, their body of research. It's in fact any knowledge base that the Pi owner is able to curate. And what we're making it easy to do is to create your own Pi, to create your own knowledge base as well. And the knowledge base through the technology of RAG is very easy to curate. This is not the onerous retraining of a model. It is in fact a simple dragging and dropping of files into folders. So that's how easy it's going to be. The user objectives are to be able to, well, interact with an AI in a meaningful way and get some value out of it. But for each Pi owner that releases it, let's say to a student body of 100 students, each of those students will be able to click a button and say, build my personal AI. So what we want to do in this beta is also test out the virality of the experience. Is that something people want to do? Do they want to build their own AI? If it's super simple, if it's 3 clicks, 1 click, what does it look like? Maybe it doesn't even have a face. 2nd click, what does it sound like? That seems to be important. 3rd click is, what is the knowledge base that it's curated, that you're going to curate for your personal AI? And it's a simple configuration. The server topology, well, we've got the servers running up in AWS. What we're going to do is we're going to ask each university and college to host the back end for their own beta. It's a closed beta to each college, and access will be managed through the domain emails, at least for the owners. And then the Pi owners, that's staff, faculty, so on, would grant access to students. Okay, so we put up a apply to join the beta program. Click there, and we've already had 5 colleges sign up, and we hope to get more. If you want to bring this to your alma mater, let us know. Get them to click, make an introduction. We've got some notable colleges. I think the first and most enthusiastic one, and thanks to Afshin for bringing us Cornell. And so Cornell's the first one. But hey, there are a few others going to follow. I think we've got UC Riverside. We're speaking to De Anza College. We've got lots of other inbound, UCSD, Harvard. Gosh, why did I forget Harvard? We've got Harvard through Bruce Schneier, and we built a bot for him really early on. And so look, we've not made a big noise about this yet. And once we've got a good quorum of initial colleges, I think we can make a noise about that. And then the sort of FOMO of the other colleges of wanting to get involved will obviously take effect. And it's our aim to get 20 to 30 colleges signed up. And we are also talking with potential infrastructure donors who want to participate in the beta program, and there seems to be enthusiasm for that. Not all colleges have the wherewithal to put up a number of these G5 servers, and so in that case, that hosting will be underwritten by a vendor of some sort. We're talking to a few, and I want to thank Joe Suppers from Swiss Vault for making introductions for us to their infrastructure partner, and we can take it forward from there. But hey, a lot more is needed, and so to make this successful, let's get that well covered. Okay, so I'm going to stop presenting there. Back to you, Debbie.
Okay, 1 second. And okay, so next, I believe we have Toby. with hackathons. Can you hear me?
Morning.
Good morning, Toby.
So not much updates, just lots and lots of positive energy and replies. I'm literally having to ask Carson to help me reply to leads. So thank you. We haven't converted. We need to convert. We need some dollars in the door. So that's the metric I'm looking to bring back to hopefully next week's call. But yeah, it's really turning up. Lots and lots and lots of increase. People are one good confirmation. Arizona will happen. So Alan Smith, thank you, Musa Capital. Arizona will happen as well. There's another super angel guy that came who's an employee of HubSpot. I don't have his name, but thank you as well. So hackathon stuff is really moving very fast. And if there's any other volunteers that can help, I would love to talk to anyone who can help. And we can use mentors as well. Yes, we need lots and lots and lots of mentors. Oh, I'm garbled. I'm sorry. Apologies, you guys, if you can't hear me. Is that better? Yeah. Carson, you want to talk? Maybe you have a better connection.
While he's getting ready, hey Toby, I have the really famous guy Kunal in Orange County, California, interested in Kwaai and Pi and what we're doing here for education in public schools. So I just wanted to mention that he's coming out to the show this weekend for the expose on Texas CEA. But yeah, I got someone who's really big and getting a lot of press to come to us. So that's that. You bet, Karsten. We should consider next weekend for us on the show for that.
Great. So Carsten and Toby, last night I met Frederick Whirl he's the assistant dean of innovation at UCLA, and he said, yeah, we'd love to host your hackathon in June in Los Angeles at the UCLA Extension building there.
Perfect.
So we've got that. We also made good friends with Accenture last night because the event was hosted there, and that was super important. I think there's capacity there for them to host. There's also capacity for them to sponsor. The next one you should probably follow up on is Joe Suppers. I'm not sure if Joe's on the call today from TwistVault. Very eager to both sponsor and maybe participate also in the hackathons, either as infrastructure sponsors or they're not an open source developer, but there's ways in which they can participate through sponsorship. Great. So I sent you those links, and we should follow up on that. Okay. Back to you.
I mean, this is all you funding.
Indeed. Okay. So what can I say in a public call? There's probably not a lot I can say in a public call, but we are approaching we're getting significant activity regarding funding. It's all good news, and we are, as they say, doing the dance at the moment and trying to express our value as an organization. Okay, so there are a few things that naturally come up when funders and sponsors engage with us, and it's the question of open source and our open source bona fides and our purity to the open source way. And frankly, that's something we're debating internally. We're a community of organizers, of developers, community of critical thinkers, and I think that the community is the value that we have. We're developing code as well. Anyone has access to the code. The code's available in GitHub. You don't even have to sign a membership form. In trying to explain this to a wide variety of individuals, I explain it, and I think Debbie has also written something on this, that open source is like an open recipe for a meal. I'm going to show you this. This is a cookbook. This cookbook was our family cookbook. Our family cookbook that we developed during lockdown. It was a family lockdown project. And we got together, the Rasool family, the diaspora spread all over the world. During lockdown, we had Zoom calls and we decided to share our family recipes. And in the sharing of the recipes, these recipes sometimes were held very privately. We decided to share them. And people then posted refinements to the recipes. And that was great because when the recipes were originally created, maybe a century ago, that was for a time. And that was for a time when certain ingredients were available. And as things evolved, it's important for recipes to become public and open source. Okay, so that is my metaphor for open source. The code is the recipe. It's not the product. You can go and clone the blockchain repo and get all the blockchain code. It doesn't mean you have the Bitcoin network or Ethereum or any of the other running products and services that are built on top of open source. So think about it like that. Now back to the recipe metaphor. The recipe for a code you might implement inside a kitchen. Now your kitchen's expensive. It's expensive to operate. The fact that you've given someone your recipe doesn't mean they have access to your kitchen. Okay, where are these metaphors going? We've developed code for personal AI. We've got 3 repos, maybe 4 repos, one covering the front end, the agent, one covering the back end, the operating system. We have a kitchen as well. That is expensive to run. We're paying the AWS bills over there. Doesn't mean everyone has access to it. So what we've done is we've created a sign up. The sign up is extremely light. Just give us your email address and commit that you can work 8 hours a month on this project. If not, look, go and take the code and have at it. We'll even help you build the code. Balaji's done this. Balaji's helped people clone the repo and get the code running to the same level that we've got it running now, the proof of concept, but running in their own hardware on their own infrastructure. So the membership that we ask people to sign up for is very light. There's no cost, first of all. There's no contributor license agreement that we've asking people to sign up. We'd like your email, and we'd like to know that you're going to stick around for a while. So commit 8 hours. That is the barrier to entry. And so that is my metaphor for open source. It comes from this family cookbook that we built. You can go find it online, Love Letter to Dall-e. And Ruth's posted about it. I'm not meaning this to be a pitch for you to go and buy the cookbook.
I'm selling it in the chat. Don't worry, we're good.
Okay, look, open source is open recipe. It's not free food. It doesn't mean that you can come to my kitchen and cook. It doesn't mean that when I cook it or when you cook it, I can come to your house and sit at your table. It allows you to take the recipe and all the recipes and go and open up a restaurant and sell it. That's also fine. If we choose to open up a restaurant, then we're going to charge you entrance, and we're going to charge you like everyone else. You might have the recipe, you might have refined the recipe, we might be using your refinement to the recipe. But so that is the metaphor. I hope that is clear in everyone's mind. Now, what is it that Kwaai is building? Kwaai is building that recipe. Okay, great. But we also are running it. And what is emerging out of this, and there's some fantastic work going on with, I think Brian Ragazzi is exploring community inference. We've got several initiatives looking at community storage. Where is your personal AI going to be stored? Where's your personal information going to be stored? And so we're looking at the Solid protocol, but there are other protocols that are in play. There's the Apache Ozone storage network, and there is there are a number of others. So that is part of the discussion. So we're starting to see Kwaai as a layered network on top of the internet. Imagine a storage fabric. On top of that, a community inference fabric. And then on top of that, the intent casting network. This is the implementation of Doc Searle's book, The Intention Economy. Okay. And that network would be running standard protocols like the IEEE P7012 protocol, and hopefully the Beacon protocol. Doesn't look like our speaker is going to join us today, so that's why I'm waffling on. And if he does, then great. Okay, he might have his 10 minutes. But Sujit Nair was going to be on today talking about the Beacon protocol, which is this possible contender for implementing the intent network. So the value is not in the code, the value is in the network. You can go and take the blockchain code, build that. It doesn't mean you have the Bitcoin network. So think about it like that. Be free with sharing the code. Don't worry about that. Don't worry about people coming in and picking the code and taking it off for themselves. That shouldn't concern us. I like the fact some license protocols say that if a third party that takes the code makes some improvement to it, they should feed that back. Yes, that's great, but that shouldn't be a stipulation. I think community is what is important, and that's what lives on top of the infrastructure network. So look, I've ranted on there a bit, and hoping that Sujit would turn up. I think what we should do is move the voices, the new member voices, up, and go straight there, and then we can carry on. Okay.
And if he shows up, we can always bring him into the next call as well.
Absolutely, yeah. Okay, so back to you, Debbie.
I just wanted to say something that there's some of us here who are new to the open source community, and we're learning how it works, and that's what I wrote. So, you know, a little bit of patience until we understand how it all works, but eventually we'll all come together. And, you know, Carson has shared some interesting links to read about it. I just put it out there because it's sort of like learning the basics of it. It explains it also as well. And so, you know, they want to share the link, that's fine. And new voices. Thank you, Riza, by the way, for putting it out there because, you know, thanks. New voices, help me out with this because you know how it is every single Friday. If you are new, please raise your hand so we can start calling on you, and we ask that you introduce yourself, tell us a little bit, about a minute, why you're here, what would you like to accomplish, and that's it. So, Harsh, thank you. Your turn.
Hey, good morning, everyone. It's probably morning down there, but it's in Dubai. It's like 8 in the night. Sorry, 9:30 approx. So yeah, good evening, whichever you prefer. First of all, I really nice meeting you all. I'm really excited joining this community. I know I came in touch with the idea of Kwaai through Debbie. She's my best friend, and a big thank you to her to introducing me to the Kwaai. And when I think about it deeply, like yeah, this would be it. Like the way the AI development is going on right now, the ability for the user to don't the user to make the user think that they don't have to worry about the data is really going to be a big topic in the future. So we are preparing it for tomorrow right now. So yeah, it's really good, and I would love to contribute to the code, and I'll do everything in my power to help you guys. Yeah, really good. Thank you.
Thank you, Harsh.
Thanks, Harsh.
Who's next? Ben Gold.
Hello, everybody. I am an AI consultant. I'm based out of Dallas. I've known Reza through a common friend, Darren, who's also on this call. And what I do is I consult with different organizations on how to deploy responsible and ethical AI. So I work with schools, universities, as well with SaaS companies, startups. And the area that's really interesting is that I believe private AI is going to be something that every organization will need. That is either for privacy and for ethics. There are a lot of organizations where people are having their employees, they go get a personal chat GPT account, they leak company information into a private account. And it's really important for organizations to be able to leverage generative AI, but in a way that is in compliance with company policies. And so that's what I'm really excited about, is I think there's a lot of commercial uses, because I believe every organization needs to have a secure private generative AI capability. And this is one of the ways to do that.
Thank you, Ben. Iman, you and I have something in common, that my middle name is also Yael. So,
oh, wow, that's very cool.
Yes, it is. Go ahead.
Right. Okay, so my name's Iman Yael Schaefer. I'm a college student at UC Santa Cruz. I was invited by Toby, and I also know Kirsten. Sorry about that. And yeah, I am president of our Cruise Hacks, as well as I am doing a startup, which is pretty cool, involved in health and medicine. So yeah, happy to be here.
Thank you. We're happy to have you. And Prashun?
You're muted, Prashun.
Hi. So I joined recently, and I'm getting up to the speed, trying to understand, tried to deploy the code locally, had some issues, sent a request to Sam. But my overall intention is to learn from here, possibly contribute some good ideas, keep thinking, and see how it works out. I'm very excited about the Kwaai project.
Thanks, Prashun.
Thank you.
And Kwanzaa.
Hello, everyone from Atlanta. Great to be on. Great to see you all. We're excited about the hackathons. Thanks for all the work behind the scenes. We're looking to try to round up some dollars. I had a great call with Van Jones from Dream Machine, and he said he's really excited to kind of connect with the group. Had no idea what we were doing, and I told him we're trying to revolutionize this thing. So, hey, kudos to everybody that's chipping in and doing all their part, and let's keep pushing, y'all. Excited. Thank you, Toby, for having me here. And getting me in the loop from a few months back. Thank you.
Folks, that's the former Congressman Kwanzaa Hall. Thank you so much for being on our call. Thanks, Kwanzaa.
And Van has got a whole lot of money from Jeff Bezos, so that's a good look.
Right.
Thank you.
And I believe Adam. I think, Adam, you're muted.
You're muted, bruh.
Hey guys, thanks for air. So, Adam Walker, recently moved to the Bay Area about 11 months ago, was invited to the meeting by Toby. I work for JP Morgan. I work with nonprofits. So just happy to be here as a fly on the wall to see what you guys are developing, a lot of which resonates, and hope to learn.
Thank you, Adam. Oh,
Thanks for showing up, Adam. Appreciate you, bro.
Me too. And last, I don't know if it's last, but Rafael.
Hi, everybody. I had the pleasure of meeting Reza at a DataCon LA event last year where he was a keynote speaker, where he absolutely crushed, by the way. He was absolutely wonderful. And that's how I got involved. I actually got lapsed a little bit because I've just been caught up. I'm a adjunct professor at USC Annenberg. And actually, I just recently got a grant it's called an AI Spark grant, which is the Annenberg School and the USC Cinematic School come together and try to connect AI and storytelling. So I'm doing a project on AI use cases around coaching, which obviously a lot of privacy issues there. So very interesting to see how I can contribute to this community. And thank you for the effort, everybody.
Thanks, Raphael.
Thanks, USC, for hosting us again.
Yeah,
We'll have you guys anytime. Thank you.
Yeah, the DataCon was good. Yeah. Actually, on that note, we are working with DataCon. I think USC said they can't host them this year. So we're looking for another venue, and I think we're going to land UCLA. So, crosstown rivalry. Maybe DataCon LA ends up at UCLA this year. We also have got an outstanding offer for it to come to College of the Canyons, where I'm out here. My wife's a professor, but hey, I think it's UCLA would be a good catch if we can land that. I'm going to call on you. I can see there's some new members that have not spoken for a while, either not spoken or not spoken for a while. So hands up, because you know he's going to come your way. Great. AZ, go ahead. And AZ, before you start, Christian, I wonder if you'd maybe also later on give us 5 minutes on what's going on in the EMEA chapter. But AZ, off you go.
Thank you. Hi, everyone. Early member and very interested in where we're going. I'm working on an open source startup project to use the I Ching to reveal our known selves to us and become a distinction engine or a self-discovery mechanism. I have an app and I'm working on the next prototype. My concern right now for this platform is, how do we know, is there a guarantee that we're never going to pull an OpenAI on our user base? We're starting out as open source. Will we stay open source? Because my project will remain open source. So if I decide to use our tools here, can I have is there any sort of decision, or can we confidently say that we will not become closed source, whether we are for profit or not? Is that a decision that is, standing for all time, or is it up for debate?
It's not something that is up for debate. A couple of months ago, we had a town hall meeting where we did debate it at that point. Mm-hmm. The debates were, we posed 3 questions. Should Kwaai indulge in commercial activity? Second question was, should Kwaai just become a spec organization? That means just create the recipe, don't create product. Should volunteers participate in the upside of any activity, commercial activity? And the answer from the membership was yes, no, yes. So yes, we should indulge in commercial activity. No, we should not just become a passive spec organization. We should develop product. And yes, volunteers should participate in that commercial upside. So we haven't yet actualized the wishes of the membership yet. But here's what we don't want to do. We don't want to make the same mistakes of OpenAI. Those are glaringly, those are horrible mistakes. They should really rename themselves Closed AI. I think the last open source project they had was, I think, called Clipper or something like that. And that was like 2 years ago. Since then, everything's been closed, and their motive is horribly for profit. And I'm surprised that the IRS has not gone after them. I know there's a kind of a private action between Elon Musk and them, but that's a whole separate drama going on. Let me talk a little bit about why they're structurally broken. Is because they created a nonprofit, and then internally they created a wholly owned for-profit that then started to suck all the oxygen out of the room and started to dictate their direction. There was a battle for power, you recall that, and that the for-profit motives won out. Okay. So, well, look, we're aware of that. We're aware of that, and I particularly have surrounded myself with advisors. The board structure that we have and the people we have on the board would, first of all, never allow me to do anything like that, I'm hoping. So we need to keep ourselves honest, but we have a and it's worth me actually dwelling on this point for a while. I'm going to share, and I'm going to share a slide that talks about what our governing structure looks like. And it is, and it's important, and I'm glad that you asked this question, because this is a question even the funders are asking. If we commit, if we ally our brand to you, these are sponsors questions. If we are you going to do a bait and switch? So first of all, the emphasis that we're putting on this is to build a movement. The fact that we are executing the mission of the movement through technology is a secondary thing. If we just done it through, I don't know, philosophizing, then maybe it would be a different thing. But the fact is, we are executing our mission through the things we know how to do. How we've identified there's a problem, the problem of monopolization of AI by wealthy forces, and that increased monopolization in itself is dangerous for industry, it's dangerous for society, and we want to do something about it in the ways we know how to do, because we're most of us are technologists. Here's the governing structure. Here's our membership, people that have signed that agreement, and there's an advisory council. If you elected yourself as an advisor, you appointed yourself, you just nominated yourself as advisor, then you are part of this advisory council. Toby Morning is the head of that advisory council. The business of this advisory council is to advise. It's to advise the executive officers and to create propositions that get submitted to the board of directors. The board of directors sit maybe quarterly. There are currently 9 people on this board. So it's very difficult for it to radically sway in one direction or another. This is not like a C-suite where you've got a dictatorial executive that rules the roost. There's a governing board over here, and the board elects the officers, but also guides the officers by voting on these propositions. So look, it's a very similar sort of tricameral, three house type of governing structure. Where have we seen that before? And these type of structures could last hundreds of years. I mean, that's what we see. And yeah, we know even in our own government how these things can fall apart and become dysfunctional. and it's going to be important for us as a movement to be vigilant about that. So, AZ, I think that's a really important question. The question about the other guiding ambition that we have is that we want to become self-sustaining, and a lot of open source developments don't have that as their guiding principle, to become self-sustaining. So what do I mean by that? I mean, we don't want to continuously go cap in hand asking for donations. That many open source developments, that is their means of existence. They go to corporations or donors or for other foundations, and they say, please give us a donation so that we can continue to survive. And sometimes that comes to an end. And so you see a lot of open source developments, brilliant code, brilliant developers, but the code bases are now ghost towns, and GitHub is littered with that, where they're ghost towns where they didn't have sustainability as one of their core mission objectives. We want to be sustainable. In 3 to 5 years, I don't want to be going cap in hand asking for charity.
We will not be going cap in hand. We will not do that.
Right. And so being that sort of pathetic charitable cause is not it doesn't make us a credible, viable opposition to the monopolizing forces. Now, we need to be massive. We need to grow our organization and our community, and the network should have so much value in it that the monopolizing forces actually come to us and want to become part of the network and want to adopt the network. It's critically important that our guiding principles are actually built into our operating system. That's why I'm a stickler for calling this an operating system that we're building, because the kernel of the operating system actually enshrines our guiding principles of self-sovereignty, of privacy, of security, but also of uplifting the individuals, uplifting humanity. Frankly, I'm not interested in the 10x improvement for an enterprise's profitability. I'm interested in the 10x improvement for individuals. I want AI to make me a better me. I want it to make you a better you. If the knock-on effect is you become a better employee and you're able to deliver more value for the company you work for, fantastic. I think that's going to be great. AZ, that was a very long answer to a very short question. I hope it covered it. Thank you.
That's what I was looking for. Also wanted to mention, I'm a recent U.S. citizen, so I don't have a stable job. I'm looking for work, and if there is a network that we have for people who are interested in the AI arena, I'd love to know what we can do to
AZ, go to the job opportunities channel. There are 100+ jobs there with their hiring managers LinkedIn contact. So go scroll through that.
And just, I want to say this. If there are some really high, if you're a cream of the crop AI engineer, my buddy is the hiring guy at magic.dev. They have multiple positions, but I want to tell you, he was a hiring guy at OpenAI, and he said this place is even harder to do. So if you are that type of talent, please reach out to me, because I can get you a job very quickly. Okay,
and AZ, hit up Barrett Booth. He's one of the top recruiters. He's on the network. Hit him up on Slack and just have a chat with him and see where the opportunities lie.
Thank you so much. Very kind.
You're welcome.
Can you repeat the name once again?
Barrett Booth.
Thank you.
And you'll find him on Slack. There we go. So I'm going to go through this. I'm going to call on you. Well, actually, Christian, I know you might not have anything prepared, but it'd be great if you could just give us a few minutes from what's going on in the EMEA chapter.
Yes, hi Rita, thank you. Okay, Holly is in evolving. And as you know, next week we will be protagonists of a conference in Sicily. So we will be present, me, Riza, and also Afshin. We will talk about AI and open science and democratization process involved. So this will be a very good opportunity to show our institution in order to let grow up it in the EMEA region. And I hope that this will we'll have a lot of success, and we'll get involved with a lot of persons, students, and also institutions. So this will be very challenging. For the rest, our communities in building. I want to say that next week, I apologize, but I cannot attend the meeting. So we will move to the next week. We will recover, because due to the conference, I need to go one day before to prepare all, and so I prefer to move our EMEA meeting on the next week. Sorry. So all is in progress. We are very strong. We grow up, and I am very happy to join in this community and to give my contribution. So thank you, Riza. I go back to you.
Thanks. Okay, so in the list, I see a few folks, and you might have spoken already, but it's worth speaking up again. Daryl, I'm going to call on you. So Daryl Serrant, you're a new member, but you've become quite active. Perhaps you can talk about the project that you're working on.
All right, yeah. So I am working on a project to explore a new architecture that was recently released called Mamba, and we're exploring it in order to see if there's capabilities. So let me take a step back. So Mamba is a new architecture that claims to deliver a much more faster performance, inferencing performance, and possibly training performance than transformer-based architectures. This is what models like GPT-2, GPT-3, Llama, kind of the more popular language models that are being used today. That's what they're based on. So I'm exploring Mamba, trying to understand how it works. And the goal is to hopefully build some new tools around Mamba. Maybe take a normal neural network and transform it into a Mamba architecture. So if you're interested in helping me out in this endeavor, I'm probably going to be doing the work I'm probably going to be doing will involve benchmarking, running some benchmarks, and just running some experiments. So if you're interested in helping me out, feel free to just reach out to me on Slack or just on LinkedIn. I can just put my LinkedIn in the chat.
Excellent. That's great. Thank you so much for sharing this one. I've been bringing this one up for a while. It is really effective. We could use it some. I will connect with you on LinkedIn immediately.
Yeah,
absolutely. So look, this is important. Part of our this came out of our fundamental AI research group. Thanks, Daryl, for diving into that area. Our mission is to try and get models to be smarter, faster, and greener. Mamba actually claims to scale as n log n, whereas existing neural networks, deep neural networks, scale in n squared. And so that n log n would be fantastic. Okay. The other guy who's not on the call, but I'm going to speak for him, Medford. He's working on a project of data curation. Data curation is super important in AI. Garbage in, garbage out, and some of the text that's going even into our RAG databases is garbage because it comes from real-time speech to text translation. And so there's a job for improving that, but there's actually a job for curation of that data. Last night on the meeting with at Accenture, the other speaker talked a lot about data curation and mechanisms for doing that. And Medford is working on a project to do that. And if anyone's interested in participating on that project, contact Medford. Great. Okay, I'm seeing a few others. Look, Darren Warner has not spoken for a while. Darren, I want you to maybe hop on and just give us an update on what you're working on.
Hey, Reza. Yeah, I apologize. I've been crazy busy with my day job recently, so don't have a huge update. But I think since the last time that I spoke on here, we got the 3 AI engines, Bruce EDU and FAC, actually moved over to the from your personal account to the Kwaai org AWS account. It's still largely a manual setup. We've got the framework, the cloud automation itself is automated, but the installation of the software is still very much a manual process. As soon as I can find some free time, I want to try and assist with that. And I've always been an advocate of hands off, what they call CI/CD environments. So I hope we can get there, and I hope we can get to a point where anyone can just, if they've got a powerful enough, probably gaming computer, whatever it might be, is just to be able to download and install software and start playing around with it themselves. I'm certainly really looking forward to do that. And I'm going to get my my son's interested in building PCs. So I think I'm going to get him involved in building me something that's capable of running these engines.
Fantastic. And look, Darren, I'm already promising the colleges and universities that I'm speaking with their IT departments. They say, hey, what do we need? Well, it's this machine. Yeah, but how do we run it? I said, don't worry, there's going to be a one-click DevOps recipe that you're going to be able to click, and it's going to light it up either in your infrastructure or in your AWS account. So let's make it so. Great. So the other guy I'm going to call on is Brian Ragazzi. Let me tell you, first of all, what Darren's describing is what we want to do for the beta phase, where there is a server that's going to run the agents, and that's great. But we're thinking of what is the network going to look like beyond that, and we anticipate this fabric. As I said, a storage fabric, a community inference fabric, and then the intent casting network on top of it. But if Brian, sorry to put you on the spot, but I wonder if you just speak up and talk about the community inference fabric.
Sure. Okay. So we're working on sort of doing a proof of concept of using a technology called, so there's already something out there called Petals. You can see it at petals.dev, where they have a number of what they call swarms, where basically you can take your GPU and make it participate in a larger group. There's been a lot of advancements in being able to distribute the processing of a model over a bunch of different GPUs instead of just having it to run it on one gigantic GPU that forces you to use like the big expensive cloud providers and so on. So they've got these swarms, and you can connect to them and lend your GPU to processing of, inference of models, also training. That's another later issue that we can get into that potentially is even more exciting. So under the hood, it uses a technology called HiveMind, and that's something you can pretty easily find out there as well. And that's just a library that'll work with PyTorch and some others, and allows you to federate together a bunch of systems. So what we're looking to do is to create the equivalent of a swarm for Kwaai, where anybody who wants to participate can join in, and as a group we probably have a lot of computing power available. So that opens up a lot of possibilities for the organization.
Great. Thank you so much, Brian. Okay. And we had at the peak 57 members. That's really good. I'm gonna let's see if Doc, do you want to speak up? Let's no. Okay, so anybody that wants to work on this with Brian, reach out to Brian. There is in fact a Slack channel called Distributed Computing, but we'll probably actually set up a work group around this. I think it's more important than just having a discussion group, and we'll probably set up work group meetings. Let's see if. Doc, are you in a place where you can talk?
I can talk. I had the mute on and I couldn't find. I have so many links open, and this is in a tab rather. I'm not sure I have much to say at this point. I'm just trying to help you with positioning and funding and that kind of thing at this point.
Doc, you posted a blog post on the difference between personalized and personal. I wonder if you can just riff on that.
Sure. All of nearly all, as far as I know, everything we're getting from OpenAI, Meta, Google, the rest of them is personalized. It's not personal in the sense that it's ours. I compare that to it's like 1974. We don't have PCs yet. I was not only alive, but an adult with 2 kids at that point. So, but I remember that if you said personal computing or a personal computer back then, it was absurd. It was like saying personal nuclear power plant. And I don't know what, probably 99.99% of the investment going into AI is going into corporate AI, and it's going into the assumption that you are just a user and they can know more about you than you need. They'll take care of everything. And I think probably Apple is the only outlier there. We don't know what the hell Apple's doing, and whatever they're going to end up doing is going to be somewhere in their closed walled garden. So we're in a unique position here. We as far as I know, and I've looked at it and I've put it in that piece. Kwaai is the only one that's coming from the individual. That is about our sovereignty. We can do for the entire marketplace, the entire world, what PCs did for computing, which is far more effective and capable and transformative and revolutionary than anything the giants are doing. Even though what we're getting right now from the giants is fabulous, is wonderful, it's doing all kinds of cool stuff. But if you're thinking about AI entirely inside the enterprise, you're missing it, and you're missing what we can do here. So that's that's sort of what I'm trying to help Kwaai say to the world, right? So that's where that's at, and I'll put a link into the thing.
Thanks so much, Doc. Okay, look, on that note, I think what we'll do is we'll move on. The call straight after this is the idea exchange. If someone can post the link to that, if no one if you don't have it already, that would be fantastic. I see.
It's done.
Yeah. I think it's posted in the general channel, and great. We've got it here in the thread. So thanks so much. Thanks. So meeting number 42. Great. And thanks for everybody for coming together and having a happy Kwaai Day. Wish you all a great weekend. And it's a gloomy Los Angeles. Let's hope it brightens up today. But we're going to move over now to the idea exchange. Prashun, you've got your hand up?
No, actually I was trying to do a thumbs up.
Okay. Thumbs up, exactly. There we go. Great. Thank you very much.
Thank you, everybody. Have a great weekend.
Thank you. Bye.
Bye.
Bye-bye.
Bye.